All right. Coming up mañana, tomorrow, as they say. Um, Second to last week of the regular season, and a lot of teams, particularly SEC teams, with the exception of Georgia, just the way their schedule worked out, are playing sort of cupcake games. Alabama's playing like Austin P. For example, some other Power Five teams like Florida State's playing Louisiana. Just looking down the board here. Um, LSU's playing UAB. Not a lot of big time matchups. Although the ones that we have are pretty good. We got two big matches out in the Pac-12, obviously a big match in the Big 12, and nothing really in the SEC that sort of stands out. I mean, other than Georgia taking on Kentucky and Tennessee taking on South Carolina, a lot of the other SEC teams are sort of A&M's playing UMass for crying out loud. Whatever. All right. I have spent the better part of this week arguing with Georgia fans, the better part of the last 2 weeks, arguing with Georgia fans about the rest of college football and how competent they really are. And while Georgia fans have not been wanting to agree with me, I certainly understand why. I still will hold to the same concept that nobody's going to beat Georgia this year except for Georgia. If they play a clean game, nobody's going to catch them and they'll win the national championship again. But if you'd like the easiest path forward, who should Georgia fans be rooting for? And I'll say this. I get that SEC country is only aligned with SEC country. It's a very myopic sort of group of folks who don't really validate any other conference per se as anywhere near as good as the SEC. And not only that, they don't really validate any other teams other than maybe two or three of them. Ohio State, maybe Clemson, not this year, but in years past. You know, Look at some of those other bigger programs with big names that SEC fans would be like, well, they're legit. Michigan, whatever. But if you're a Georgia fan this weekend, you have to wonder if you're looking at the landscape of what is going on and what possibly could happen for the college football playoff. Explain to me why you would want Tennessee back in the playoff. Like, why would you want to face Tennessee again? Because you beat them once handed? Like, go back to last year. Do you think Alabama wanted to see Georgia again, knowing that they had beaten them once in the SEC championship game, and doing it twice was going to be extremely hard, especially in the short span and two games in less than a month against each other? So it's one of those things where it's like I said this too, and Braves fans remember this: stay away from division opponents in the postseason if you can. Just stay away. When you get to the same thing in football and the NFL, stay away from division opponents because everything becomes a coin flip. Look what happened to the Eagles on Monday night at home against the Washington Commanders. Coin flip. That's what happens with the familiarity of the teams that you play. So no Georgia fan should want another SEC team in the playoff. I know you guys beat your chest. Oh, we get two teams in every year. We're the best conference in the land. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ridiculous. Don't do that. Because again, beating that team twice is really hard. So I will tell you, Georgia fans, you should be rooting for TCU to beat Baylor and remain undefeated. You should be rooting for USC to beat UCLA and continue their march towards a Pac 12 championship. Because as I've said repeatedly, Georgia wins out, the winner of the Big Ten, Ohio State or Michigan, TCU wins out, USC wins out. Those are your four teams in the college football playoff, and Tennessee is not getting in. That's what you should want. Because I will say this much. Well, I still think Georgia is better than Tennessee. Um, I think that USC is not as good, at least offensively, as Tennessee, and their defense is a little bit better, but not great. TCU will get mollywopped by Georgia. Like USC might be able to keep it close. Like Lincoln Riley's coached against Georgia before, right? He's done that at Oklahoma with Baker Mayfield that year. So he might have a little bit of an idea of what to do to be able to score, but they're not good enough to keep up with uh, with Georgia. So once you get past that, if Ohio State gets in, it's Georgia Ohio State for the national championship. Like that's what you're seeing. So just get ready for it. But again, if Michigan runs the table, Georgia fans are like, "Oh, we beat them last year. We killed them. We'll kill them again." But if I'm a Georgia fan, I want TCU and USC in, and I want Tennessee out. No reason to put Tennessee in this thing. I mean, LSU's not going because LSU's not beating Georgia. Even if Georgia plays a bad game, Georgia can turn the ball over twice against LSU, and Georgia will still cover 16 points at this spread. I'm not even worried about it. LSU is overrated, and they're not that good. And Jaden Daniels, the quarterback for the Tigers, is going to be in for one of the worst games of his life. He's going to be like, I haven't seen anything like that all season long. Yeah, no, you haven't. Trust me. I think that's what I want to see is the four teams in the playoff. I'd love some different representation in here. Again, this is why I am, not the SEC homer that I once was accused of being. I think maybe my second day here in Atlanta on the radio, which was pretty funny. But anyway, uh, I would love to see Georgia, Big Ten champ, TCU, USC as the four in the college football playoff.